Well, hello, all of you beautiful people out there in Minecraft land. How are you today? I am fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. My name is Vid, and welcome back to another very exciting, yet very somber episode of IgnitorSMP Season 3, because, well, I mean, there's a weird portal thing appearing over spawn, and, well, I don't know what that means, but I do know one thing. We are coming to a close. In fact, this is going to be the very last episode from IgnitorSMP Season 3. Yeah, we're finishing our season. I know, out of nowhere, right? You might have suspected. You might have seen some other people's videos. There have been a couple videos from other people saying that they're kind of done, or they are leaving the server. We are, unfortunately, losing some friends. But we're also gaining some stuff in the future that, well, I'm excited to tell you about, but you're just going to have to wait until December 1st, because we have something very exciting happening on December 1st. And yeah, we're going to be changing things up a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to do is just have a quick fly over our shopping district. Take a look at what we have accomplished. Our server has been running since December of 2023. So 2 years, coming up on 2 years anyway. And yeah, we've had some fun times. Personally, I built some neat stuff. And I'll get to all the things that I built, but I kind of wanted to just give you a quick view of some of the stuff. And just some of the good memories that are here. And let's talk about some of the things. My season started out all the way over here. Well, these stairs weren't here when my season started, but what I'm leading you to is basically where my season started, and that is with my starter house. That little guy right up there on the hill. I don't consider myself to be a builder, but that is why I have friends and I have community. And I asked the community, what would you think of a nice little starter house in the savannah biome? I didn't tell anybody we were starting a new season. I just said, hey, what would a starter house in a savannah biome look like? And this was the one that I picked, which was my favorite. This was actually designed by a friend of mine, Jampot Bong. I actually played a little bit with him on some different servers in the past. We did a guest spot over on North Blocks where he makes his general SMP home, and he designed this for me. I asked him permission to use it as my starter base in this season, and he said yes, I could. So thank you, Jam, for that. Let's take a look inside. In the front door, we have some chests, basic little storage here. And did I leave anything up here? I don't think so. I'm pretty organized. I've removed, I think, pretty much everything and moved it downstairs into my sort of phase 1 storage solution. This was my phase 1. So when I first started the world, I needed a place to store stuff. So I dug out this basement here and, you know, put some signs on top of chests, and I know there is still junk in a lot of this stuff. Some of it I've moved over to what eventually became my real base. Most of these chests are empty, but there's a few little things here and there left over. A little bit of dirt, some stone, cobblestone, no logs, of course. Wood was very important. So, oh, there's where all my saplings ended up, though. That's pretty funny. The mystery box. I don't even know why I made this box. Take this key to the... This is where it all started. And of course, I expanded this way into what would become my villager trading hall. So I've got a bunch of farmers here. I've got some early game guys. My, what's this guy? This guy's my weaponsmith. This guy's my armorer. This guy is my toolsmith. And these guys, if you don't know, have been fantastic because I could get all of my diamond gear from these guys, including full diamond armor, full diamond weapons and tools. The only thing I didn't have was a diamond shovel from any of these guys, but I think Zero had one of these guys, a toolsmith, that had a diamond shovel, and I was able to get myself a diamond shovel from him. And then I had some fishermen. Of course, the fisherman is what I was using for the string trade. Early game, set up a string duper, got myself a bunch of emeralds, That was very, very early game before I was able to get myself carrot and pumpkin and melon and potato farms, which is typically what I would do. On this side, I've got all of my librarians, and I spent a lot, and I mean a lot of time rolling and re-rolling trades to get all of the books. And of course, that little guy back there, which you can just kind of barely see, that little guy back there has done a fantastic job as well. Helped me to kill my villagers so that I could then cure them. They became zombies, and I was able to cure them and get my trades way down. So pretty much all of my book trades ended up 1 emerald, which is fantastic. There are a few which I did later, which I don't think I was ever able to get all the way down to the low. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe these were before they changed that game rule in Minecraft, where you can't get these down to 1 anymore. But everything is 1. I did have one weird thing happen. This guy over here used to be my Feather Falling 4, Frostwalker 2, and Infinity guy. When we upgraded our world, something happened with this guy. He corrupted. Now, he sells me enchanted books. They have no enchantment on them. They are just literally an enchanted book. And it costs 1 emerald to get an enchanted book, and they don't do anything. That's really weird. So this is like an ultra rare guy who basically has trades that don't do anything. Yeah, weird. Anyway, another early game thing that I required was paper, so I set up this, one of the first big automated farms, and it looks like it has actually stalled, so maybe I should fix this. I think this must have happened recently, because look, this stuff is only just starting to grow. But how come this isn't working? Okay, so let's get this in there, break it, and then we'll run back out here. There we go, and now it's coming back. Yeah, this is my big automated flying machine sugarcane farm, and yeah, it has served me very, very well. That's very cool. I love flying machines. And that is actually chunk bordered as well. So the entire thing is 2 exact chunks, so it never breaks. It shouldn't break between chunks. They're usually either one chunk is loaded or the other chunk is loaded. Yeah, I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm not explaining it very well, but basically it does stall once in a while when the whole thing gets unloaded. That's very, very rare that happens. It's only happened maybe like 3 or 4 times the entire 2 years we've been playing. But when it does, it's fairly easily fixable. And it never breaks in a way that I can't just immediately restart it. Down here, this guy is my potato farmer. This guy is my carrot farmer. And I use, of course, carrots and potatoes to unlock farmer trades. That has been my principal source of XP this entire season. These guys right here. This guy and this guy. Whenever I need XP, I just come over here, trade some carrots and potatoes, and I have a small supply right here, just used to trade carrots and potatoes. And of course, all of that stuff is filtered. Oh, and what you can't see back here, underneath of the sugarcane farm, let me just go into free cam here, because here's the sugarcane over here, and underneath we have this. This is my melon and pumpkin farm, and it's got these rails, and it's got this hopper minecart that's constantly going, and it's collecting all of the goodies, and it puts them in this chest, and then this chest actually has a hopper with an auto dropper under it, and everything ends up over here, filtered. That's weird. How did I just end up with some melons? All right, well, I'm going to put the melons in here. Everything ends up filtered, auto-sorted right over here into this. So I've got basically unlimited carrots, unlimited potatoes, unlimited pumpkins, and unlimited melons. I never did put an auto-crafter on this. I just kind of take my melons as I need them, craft them up like this, which takes like only a few seconds to do, obviously. And then I just dump them in here. And honestly, look, they're so full already, I don't even have any more room because I just do this often. And it doesn't take any effort. So those chests there are basically just the ones that can be used to feed directly into the storage system. Anything that overflows the storage system gets filtered over here and composted into bone meal. And I don't think anything should be blocked up here. But yeah, I should have, yeah, so a small amount of bone meal. Usually this doesn't overflow very much. And I don't clean this very much either. So like, just when I come over here, there's a little bit of bone meal generated. So very efficient farms. Not a lot of loss, but a little bit of bone meal if I need it. But check this out. All the sugar cane I need. I even got poisonous potatoes filtered. So look, if you ever need a stack of poisonous potatoes, bang, right there. Yeah, everything. Everything I could possibly need is all here, and these chests are mostly filled. The reason the bottom ones are empty is because I usually take from the bottom first, and the way these set up, once stuff goes into the upper chest, it doesn't drain out automatically. So it's just, I don't know. There's always stuff here. The next thing I did was built myself a little shop, and I tried to take that same sort of Savannah palette and put my own spin on it in terms of this build right here. This build is actually a holdover build. I built the exact same building in Season 1 of our server, and then I kind of made a modified version of it for Season 2, but I didn't end up using this building. What this is my shop. This is my starter shop, so I'm selling gold and emeralds and iron and totems and all kinds of stuff, plus some books. These are the early books that I got from my trading. I decided this season I wasn't going to do a full villager trading hall setup and sell every book specifically because I was asked by somebody else. Somebody else said like, hey, do you mind if I make a bookshop? And I said, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. So I didn't sell books, at least all the books. I only stocked the ones that I already had in stock already. So Mending, Unbreaking, Efficiency 5, Protection 4, Silk Touch, Fortune 3, with the intention to let somebody else sell all the books. And guess what? It didn't happen. That person never built the shop. They didn't finish their villager trading hall, and they left the server. I'm not going to call them out. You know who you are. But somebody else eventually did make a bookshop. So Solo actually made a bookshop. So I'm glad somebody ended up making a bookshop on the server. It's good. But I think by the time that shop came around, which was like a year into our server, everybody knew to just come over here and get books anyway. So I don't know how many sales they made. Maybe a lot. I don't know. I made a ton of sales from my shop. I also sold iron, as I mentioned, and that is why this shop looks the way it is, because it's kind of weird being like tall and skinny and narrow like this. But if I go into free cam, you're going to see something interesting. Right up at the very top of this shop. What is that? Yes, there are some pools of water. There's also inside a zombie. And there are some villagers which are constantly getting scared by this zombie. And you know what that means? They are going to, hopefully, we'll see it, spawn some iron golems. Because this shop is, in fact, an iron farm as well as a shop. Yeah, it does take a second for golems to actually spawn. But once the iron golems do spawn, all of the iron gets broken down and ends up in my back room. Let's take a look in the back room here. Boop. Right over here. Everything flows down these hoppers and ends up pretty much in this chest right here. And as you can see, haven't been here for a while. There's a little bit of iron, a little bit of poppies. And typically this is the kind of thing where I'd come over here and I would just collect my iron. Again, I probably should have added an auto crafter to this at some point. I just never got around to it. So I put my iron there and then just up into here. And it's usually done so little at a time that it doesn't really make any difference in my daily activities. The poppies I usually take, and put in this chest right up here, which just feeds down into a composter, and I end up with, again, a little bit more bone meal. I am selling bone meal as well over here, but I've sold it at 1 diamond per stack, which is a terrible, terrible price. I don't think I've ever sold any bone meal. It basically is just there because I have this extra stuff, and yeah, I didn't know what else to do with it. So there it is. I didn't want to sell it too good a price because then people would be bugging me for bone meal, and I don't have a really good bone meal farm. This is like all of the bone meal I've collected over the course of the entire season. Yeah, 1 double chest. That's it. If I had sold any, yeah, I'd be very far behind. Also, I'm selling here a few other things: gold, emeralds, frog lights. Let's go to the roof of the Nether because I want to show you 2 of my big farms. We decided to go big with our Nether hub this year, and NeatFreeze designed this really cool glass dome, and with this compass design and everything, and the cardinal directions all have tunnels that go out them. Well, all except this one, which never really got finished, never got built. But that's okay because this is the way I need to go because my farms are here. There's one of them right there, just coming into render view, and probably should have had some more forethought in terms of where I put this. To be honest, I put the farm in before I knew we were going to have tunnels and stuff like that. So here's the farm. Let me just fly up here, take a quick look at it. Yeah, obviously not my design. This is a classic farm design that spawns zombie piglins, and of course they fall to their death, and all of their nuggets and rotten flesh gets collected down here. And I've just got a bunch of hoppers picking this stuff up, and everything gets filtered through. So down here, I think I'm filtering out the rotten flesh. Yeah, and the rotten flesh just ends up in this dropper here, which just gets spit into lava because I don't need the rotten flesh. All the gold, on the other hand, gets spit into, let's see, one of these chests. Yeah, down here. So this gets filtered, all the gold, and we end up with gold being auto-crafted into blocks. The blocks end up in these chests here, and then this hopper minecart just comes along and picks up all the blocks. So here should be nothing but gold blocks. Yeah, and anything that isn't rotten flesh or gold blocks should just end up overflow in these chests. So I guess occasionally we get a chicken jockey or something. And yeah, so just a very, very little stuff here. But I mean, so infrequent. This has been like the whole season and I've never emptied these. So yeah, just a tiny little bit of that. Anyway, gold farm, not the most efficient gold farm in the world, but honestly, it has definitely provided me with enough gold to keep me and the server happy. So I like that. And then the second farm I wanted to show you guys was over here. This is my froglight farm. Froglights are very easy to farm once you have frogs, and frogs are fairly easy to get. It's a little bit of a pain to try to get the froglights, or the frogs, into the nether. You need all 3 colors of frogs as well. So I think I've got 2 of each color of frog in there, which doesn't seem like a lot. Maybe, no, there's definitely more than that. How did I end up with that many frogs in there? I thought I only had 2 of each color. These guys don't multiply by themselves, do they? They shouldn't. Anyway, I guess I got a lot. I got a lot of frogs in there. I seriously do not remember getting that many frogs. I could have sworn I only had 2 of each color. Oh well. Anyway, froglight farms are extremely productive, and as you can see, I'm getting a lot of magma cream and a lot of froglights in all 3 varieties. And I never bothered to filter the colors on this or anything like that. I just kind of let it run. But there's so many. Like, look, these are all jam-packed. Like, I probably have, yeah, see, some of these rows are completely overflowing. I have so much stuff in here that I don't know what to do with it. Great farm. This is a great early game farm. I would highly recommend, if anybody wants to get into industrial Minecraft farming and you're looking for a farm to build a froglight farm. Super, super easy and super, super productive. And honestly, you can sell froglights all day long because people love these things and they don't want to bother going through the farm. So I've made a lot of money on froglights this year. All right, let's fly to the other end of the nether and talk about another fantastic farm, or set of farms, I should say, and the fiasco that is raid farming. One of my absolute favorite farms to build in Minecraft is, of course, the raid farm. And very early in the season, I built this guy for a couple reasons. First of all, it gives you a crap ton of different stuff, like everything from emeralds, redstone, gunpowder, spider eyes, glowstone, plus sticks, sugar, a whole bunch of mob heads if you want that, plus totems galore. I have so many, or had collected so many totems, plus the occasional potion as well, which is really cool. This is the raid farm. This is an Eon X04 design of this raid farm, and I really enjoyed this raid farm. Of course, I had another reason I needed to build a raid farm this season, and that is because of a big project that I was working on. Don't worry, we will talk about the big project a little bit later. But for now, let's just talk about raid farming. So I ended up making this addition to the raid farm after some trial and error. This is basically my design right here. I figured out how to make Ravagers come up out of this area and then get pulled over here specifically so that I could collect all of the Ravagers and the mobs riding Ravagers down into this little area right here. And then I built this little area over here so that I could do some stuff with them. For example, isolating them, making sure that they were name tagged, making sure that I had exactly what I needed and they had the right properties in the right quantities, and then I could send them through this portal down here where I could store them on the roof of the nether for use in my big project. Relic Runner, cough, cough. We'll talk about that. Unfortunately, something happened when we upgraded the server to 1.21.2, I believe, and that's this raid farm stopped working. By then, I had already collected all of the Ravagers and Evokers and stuff that I needed, so I didn't really need to have a way to collect mobs out of this anymore, but I still had a massive need for things like emeralds, because of course I like to trade with villagers, redstone, because of course I needed a ton of redstone, gunpowder. This was my primary source of gunpowder as well, this farm right here, and I needed all of those things. Plus, I had a little run-in with Skunk Monkey, who asked me, or actually he traded in an IOU, which he had obtained last season. He traded it in specifically for access to my raid farm. I should have just given him access to this farm and said, there you go. It doesn't work, but you have access just like you wanted. But no, I'm not that guy. So I decided to build a second raid farm. And that raid farm is right over here. In fact, look, I've still got all my beacons up to use this farm. I built this farm as a little mini raid farm. This is a very cool, very compact design. I can't remember who designed this. I think it might have been Ray's Works that designed this. And it's very cool. Unfortunately, it's very temperamental. Placing those boats is, oh my god, a pain in the butt. And if they ever get nudged out of place, it breaks. I've died in this farm a couple times. I used this farm for about a week, and then Skunk Monkey came over, and I told him basically, yeah, this farm is such a pain. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna die. You're not going to get very many resources out of it. It's not a stacking raid farm like that one. That's a stacking raid farm, which means the drops it gets are just insane. This one is just a regular raid farm, and so yeah, the drops are about a quarter to a tenth of what the drops of that one are. The bottom line is, it's not a very good farm. Not for my needs, anyway. I mean, for a single player, you know, or for a basic farm that you don't want to spend a whole lot of afternoon effort in, you know, to be fair, this one took about the same amount of time to build as that one, but whatever. This farm, I'm sure, has a place in history, but for me, it just wasn't good enough. So really, like, honestly, 1 week I built this farm, and a week later, I'm like, nah, not good enough. I found a bigger, better stacking raid farm design that worked in the new version of Minecraft, and so I built my third raid farm on the server. And that is this one right here. Check it out. I can't remember who designed this raid farm, but if you go back to the video where I built it, I'm sure I give credit where credit is due. Because again, not my design. I basically just used the tutorial and I built this raid farm. And this one is really cool because it uses a mechanic that I had never seen before, where basically you stand here, you get ominous bottles put in this chest right here. You get firework rockets with balls in this chest over here. And you stand here with a sword that has looting on it. And you put your sword, you basically hold down right click. And what that does is it really fast puts your sword into this, what do you call these things? It's a pot. It puts it into this pot, and that starts the machine up. What ends up happening is that all of the mobs get triggered up there, and they end up getting put into a special container. TNT gets dispensed to kill the mobs, but at the same time, you get dispensed out from this dropper over here, a firework rocket, which because you're holding down right click, you fire the firework rocket up, which actually causes damage to all of the mobs, but not enough to kill them in like a fraction of a second before the TNT goes off. So you end up getting all of the benefit for those kills, but in the same tick that they die, you also get dispensed out your looting sword, and since you're holding your looting sword, you get looting effect applied to all of those mobs up there. It's so crazy to watch it happen. You should definitely watch the video where I built this farm. This is absolutely my favorite farm that I've ever built on the server or otherwise, and man, it's so cool. Yeah, I also added this. This part did not exist in the farm, but I added this. This is the automatic sorting system for all of this. And of course, I'm collecting all of the same materials collected from the other farm. Plus, it does give off a small number of ominous bottles as well. Very, very small number of ominous bottles. I'm using this area as storage. These were not ominous bottles that were farmed from this farm. These were actually just collected and stored here from me, because this farm does require an input of ominous bottles, and that's the one major downside. You cannot use this farm as is. You need to have a second farm. Lucky for me, I'm not afraid of a little work, and so I built a second farm. Let's go check that one out. And that farm is right over here. I built this portal just to get to it really fast, but the actual farm is down there. And, well, you can't see it because there used to be a pillager outpost right here, but the pillager outpost is completely gone. And instead, it has been replaced by a whole lot of air and a little bit of a glass platform right up here that I can hang out on. Ooh, if I can get there. Let's see. There we go. And then I just look straight down. Let's free cam down there, just so we can see what's going on. And right down here with free cam, we can actually see this is, in fact, a pillager outpost farm. So we have a bunch of pillagers that spawn on this grass platform. And there's a snow golem in there, and the snow golem throws snowballs, which aggroes every single one of those guys. And they all come running over here. And every one of these guys that has a banner on his head, when those guys get down in there, by the way, I think there's mine carts or something down there which will do entity cramming. Or there's campfires or something, whatever it is, whatever the mechanism. Oh, it's campfires. The campfires kill these guys, and all of their drops end up going down underground through this series of hoppers, and I end up with a bunch of ominous potions right here. And that is another really cool, simple farm that was needed. And again, I did not design this farm. I can't remember who designed this farm, but if you go back to the episode where I built it, there's definitely credit there. While we are flying around the Nether, let me fly around over to this farm right here, because this is another really exciting farm, and as you can see, it is not too far away from spawn, right down there. This farm I did not build. I would have built it, but somebody else built this farm before I had a chance to build it, and instead of building my own version of it, this is just a standard farm, by the way. I think ENX04 designed this one as well. I might be wrong there. Instead of building my own version of this, I basically just made a deal. This was actually Onyx who built this, and I asked him if I could use this farm in exchange for unlimited gold. So I ended up giving him unlimited gold to use in this setup in exchange for him giving me access to it, which was a great deal for both of us. And yeah, I ended up getting access to this, which, in case you hadn't figured out, is a piglin bartering farm. One of the most popular and necessary farms in Minecraft, in my opinion. You get tons of blackstone, gravel, spectral arrows, quartz. Quartz is a big one. Of course, people tend to come over here and pilfer my quartz. Wow, I'm surprised I have so much quartz. You get a little bit of iron nuggets as well. Soul sand. You get nether brick. You now get these guys as well. The little happy gassed dried gas. That's what they're called, which is unusual. You also get obsidian. This is my best source of obsidian right here without having to mine obsidian. Crying obsidian, of course, if you like that for building. String, leather, fantastic source of leather. If you need leather, man, you end up with so much leather, so much you don't know what to do with. A limited amount of potions and some special books as well. You can get these Soul Speed 3 books. You get a lot of the other kinds of Soul Speed as well, 1 and 2, but I usually just throw those away. You also get a ton of iron boots that are enchanted with Soul Speed. I usually just throw those away as well, because who wants iron boots, especially when you can upgrade to diamond or netherite and then just put this enchant on it. Yeah, great farm. And since Onyx left the server, this is now my farm. I kind of inherited it because I was the one supplying all the gold anyway, and just decided, you know what, rather than build my own version of the exact same farm, since I already had access to this, I'm just going to maintain access and then control the farm. So it's mine now. I think that is a more than fair deal. Okay, I think it's time. Let's take a look at the big project. The big one. And yeah, I'm talking about Relic Runner. My super deluxe project this year involved mobs and collecting all of these mobs. I have a full string right here of evokers. Well, I guess they're not full anymore because I've used some. But I have evokers here. I have, look, they're all sitting comfortably in minecarts. I have these guys right here. All of my Ravagers, backup Ravagers in case I need additional. I have Blazes. I have Breezes. I have hoglins over here, and of course a multitude of rail tracks going all of the different directions in case I need to bring any additional mobs into the game. What game are you talking about? Well, let's take a quick peek over here. Welcome to Relic Runner, my deck building, dungeon crawling, treasure hunting mega game built entirely in survival Minecraft, and here is the lobby area. Gotta say this right away, this game was heavily inspired by Tango Tech's Decked Out 2, which he built in Hermitcraft Season 9, I believe? Yeah. Very different game, though. I've updated all the mechanics and all of the redstone so that the game is distinctly different, but if you play the game, it should feel familiar, and that's basically what I was going for. In this game, you are going to start yourself with a deck box, an official deck box like this, and as you play the game, you are going to collect more and more cards, such as this silence card. Let me get one of those out. These cards in your deck will allow you to have certain effects. Like, for example, this card will block one noise from being generated in the dungeon. As you're moving through the dungeon, you're going to generate noise by passing by sensors, and if you trigger those sensors without sneaking, you're going to get noise. There's also, let's see, there's time block cards. Yeah, let's look at some of the rare cards and some of the special effect cards. Maybe a combo hustle. That's a good card right there. So, yeah. I've got cards like this, uncommon and rare, as well as the common cards. All these cards will do different effects. There are time cards, so basically the more time you spend in the dungeon, the more likely you are to generate danger level. And if you have time blocking cards or alarm blocking cards, they are going to prevent that alarm from being generated and danger level from going, which means you can stay in the dungeon longer. There's also specialty cards like this Nick of Time card, which provide special effects such as speed boost, regeneration, and jump boost. That is a crazy good card. Combo Hustle card also has a quick draw as well, which means it'll actually automatically draw more cards right away, which I think is really cool. So all the cards have different effects. The whole idea of this game is that you are going to be given a compass and you have to navigate through this treacherous dungeon to try to locate your artifact. And when you locate your artifact, well, basically you throw your compass on the ground in the place where it's pointing and it gives you an artifact. And then you must make your way out of the dungeon and through the exit door right over there before your danger level gets too high. And of course, before the monsters get you. And there aren't any here right now, but normally this area is swarming with Ravagers or Evokers or all kinds of nasty things that can chase you and get you and stop you from completing your mission. And oh, the other thing is, normally you do this with no armor and no totems. That's not allowed either. The game runs on a massive, and I mean massive, amount of custom redstone. This was all designed and created by me in survival. I mean, I did do a lot of the designing work in creative, but I built this all in survival, collected all the materials, and rebuilt the whole thing on this server in survival mode, done all of the custom programming myself of all of this redstone. The game is 3 complete levels with plans for a 4th level. Unfortunately, level 4 never got completed, but I did get 3 levels completed with the help of the other Igniter members. I built probably, I don't know, maybe 25% of level 1 and the rest of the game. Actually, no, probably 25% of the whole game, because several other levels were designed by other people, but I did have my own hand in designing several bits as well. And I just think this is super cool. I love this. Every single time I see this stuff outside of the game and inside the game, I'm delighted with how well it came out. And if you just take a look at like some of the levels, I'm just going to go right in here. You can see this is one of the levels that was designed for Relic Runner. Very, very cool area and full of scary monsters. There should be Ravagers in here somewhere. I don't know. I don't see the Ravagers. Oh, there he is. Right over there, hiding there, which will chase you. And every area is themed different as well. This was an alien landscape. If I come over here, this is a pirate cove. Very, very cool. And there's other baddies up here as well. This guy's a trident throwing drowned who will try to stop you from getting out. Yeah, I love this game. And I think all of the players really enjoyed it as well. I ended up releasing 28 custom cards that were designed by me with the help of a little bit of AI art. Yeah, not gonna lie. I really love what the AI art looks like on these cards. But all of the card design, the outside stuff was all done in Photoshop. It's really just these middle bits that I used AI art for. I think it came out really, really cool. But, some people beg to differ. Anyway, I'm a fan, and I generated all these cards. 28 plus, that covers the 3 rarities: common, uncommon, and rare. There were an additional set of cards, the epic level cards, which are diamond level, that never got released because they were supposed to be released with level 4, which is supposed to be in this area. And unfortunately, I ran out of time. I never built level 4. Let's just take a look at the timeline of Season 3 as it goes right here. December 2023 is really when we started this world. I did planning through all of 2024 until, planning and building, I guess, until August 2024 when Relic Runner was open. Relic Runner was only open for 3 months, from August through October. And then I ended up closing it in anticipation of building and reopening Relic Runner levels 2 and 3. The change of the year happens. You are here. I'm not here anymore. This was the last time I looked at this stuff. You are no longer here. We went all the way to here. You are now here. There we go. Actually, that's the last time I looked at it. That was June. In July, we had planned to open levels 2 and 3, and we basically just missed it. So August is when levels 2 and 3 opened, and they were open August, September, October. Still open now. I guess I should add some more blocks here. November and into December, but unfortunately, this is where we are right now, and we're at the end of the season. We're not even going to make it to December. We are finishing up in November. As I said, this is the last episode, so that's as far as we got. That is kind of unfortunate. There's something more that I need to say about Relic Runner, but I don't want to talk about it right now. Understand that I am a little disappointed that I never got to finish it in Season 3, but let's just say that does not mean all is lost for Relic Runner. You'll know more on December 1st, so come back and you'll get the full story. One of my favorite storylines that we did this year was the ARSE versus the ASS, the Armadillo Suppression Society versus the Armadillo Rescue and Search Environment. I actually have no idea what ARSE stands for anymore. I can't remember. Armadillo Reproduction and Security Endeavor, or ARSE. But you can see we had some armadillo lovers, some armadillo haters who burned down armadillo ships and all kinds of things. That was a lot of fun. We even had our own sponsor armadillo. Her name was Shelly, and she was kidnapped and almost burned in this big machine that was burning armadillos. I managed to save all of the armadillos that were being burned, and they're actually safely housed in their own habitat environment on level 2 of this building up here, which you can't really see right now. But Shelly was kidnapped out of the tower and brought to a secure location, which ended up being over here, this little armadillo sanctuary built by the Wind Sword. And as it turns out, I've decided that this is actually the best home for Shelly. She has friends like Peanut and Sonic, the other armadillo, and Knuckles. Yeah, but here's Shelly. This is the real Shelly. She's safe and sound over here in this beautiful environment where she gets to experience, the whole life. Nice and warmth, and there's lots of, food bowls and water laid out and some bedding material, and I think this is a great place for Shelly to live out the rest of her server days. Yeah, so I'm not unhappy at all with the way this whole thing resolved. There was still one minor outstanding issue with a giant armadillo that got loose. But who knows whatever happened with that armadillo. Maybe we'll see her again someday, or maybe not. I want to give a big shout out to Star this season, who took it upon himself to lay out the gaming district. So this is where we decided to house all of our mini games, and I think this area turned out really well and really inspired a lot of people to build mini games. Also, special credit to Cubically, who designed like 5 or 6 games. I think NeatFreeze designed a game here. Star obviously designed some games. Zero designed the Igniter TCG game, which was played initially in this arena. There's also a couple other arenas on the server somewhere. What else do we have? We have this big castle over here, which is Battleship. We have this PvP arena, which was designed by Solo. Very, very cool. We also have this poker hall. Indie Alien Jones built the poker hall. Indie Alien Jones also built this incredible card game called Mob Masters, which, man, I hope he talks about in his final episode, because what a masterpiece that is. Cubically created a comic book store, which merch coming soon. Well, I think this is the last week on the server, so I have a feeling that merch is never coming. Just a hunch. NeatFreeze built this mini golf course. Well, she started building the mini golf course over here, but we ended up building this out for Dippy's birthday. And a lot of the Igniters came together and built holes for the course. Dano built the hole, Indy built the hole, Cubically built the hole, Dark built the hole, Solo built this giant pineapple hole, Sandy Sparkles built this hole. What else we have? Cubically built this one. Dano built the hole underground. NeatFreeze built a lot of holes. She built like 5 or 6 little holes to tie everything together. Just a phenomenal group project. I'm really happy with the way all of this came out. And I'm getting close to the end, but I can't finish up this season without one more thing. This is going to be hard. I'll try to get through it. I can't finish the season without huge thanks and dedication to this guy, Fedora Master 219. Unfortunately, Fedora succumbed to his illness, and we lost him in real life during the season. This man made incredible contributions to Minecraft, to IgnitorSMP, and I gotta show you some of his builds. This man was a master of shading and light and color, and some of the stuff he did rivals the greats. I know he could have rivaled someone like B-Dubs, and if you know, you know. His work was incredible, and unfortunately, he was cut short in his prime. But the work he did will live forever, and I do want to dedicate Igniter Season 3 to Fedora Master. He was a friend of mine, a friend to everybody, and he always said, if you do what you love, people will love what you do. And Fedora, he loved what he did. So I'm going to dedicate this season, all of Igniter Season 3, to Fedora Master. Thanks, buddy. And now is the time to finish up my episode. And I'm going to finish, well, almost, in this area right here. This is my storage system. You guys have probably seen this a couple hundred times at this point. I know I see it every time I log in and log out on the server, because this is where I always do it. So this is probably the most appropriate place for me to leave this stuff, right beside my emotional support llama, Mr. Nibbles, and my LA friend, who's been making beautiful sounds for me all season long. I'm going to put this chest here. I'm going to put that there. Let's take off all of my armor and take off my totem. And let's just get all of this stuff into the chest here. Boop, 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 boop. I'm going to put my ender chest down as well. Ender chest goes here. And let's take everything out of the ender chest. Boop, 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 boom. Yes, look at all of this stuff. Let's just get it all out. Everything. Because we don't want anything left in our ender chest. We want to make sure that you guys have access to all of this stuff when we do a world download. Hopefully you'll be able to get access to all of this stuff. There it is. And let's finish up right where I always like to finish up. That being here in the end. Over by this amazing concrete duping machine. But that's not actually what we're here for. We're here to say goodbye to this frog and to you guys. And thank you, basically, for a great season. I think it was one of my favorite seasons of all time, for sure. We got a lot done, lots of great memories, And yeah, lots to look back on with pride. Thanks so much. Let's jump into the void, and we'll see you on December 1st for something very, very exciting. Wait, what the heck?